Hello, my beautiful friend, and welcome to Heaven of the Heart. This is your safe space to pause, breathe, and find strength again. Here, we talk about self-care, love, and the gentle power that lives within every woman. I'm so glad you're here with me today. Let's begin.
Have you ever loved someone who seemed like they were never fully with you? You're sitting across from him, sharing moments, building dreams, yet his eyes drift somewhere else, towards a world you can't touch. Maybe it's an ex he hasn't moved on from, maybe it's regrets that haunt him, or maybe it's simply the comfort of old memories he can't release. And there you are, wondering, am I not enough? It's one of the most painful experiences in love, not because he doesn't care about you, but because he can't step out of his past enough to truly see you. And so you try harder. You listen, you comfort, you become the safe place where he vents, the shoulder where he rests. You give more, hoping that someday your love will be strong enough to heal him. But here's the truth I want to say out loud. You cannot love a man into healing if he chooses to stay broken. His past is not your enemy, but when he refuses to release it, that past becomes the third presence in your relationship, the invisible wall between you and the love you deserve. This video is for you if you've ever found yourself in that space. It's not about shaming him or labeling him as unworthy. It's about remembering that your worth does not shrink just because he is still stuck in yesterday. Love is meant to be a partnership of two hearts, not a rescue mission where one person carries the weight of another's unhealed wounds. Today, let's talk about how to recognize when his past is controlling your present, why it's dangerous to lose yourself in the name of understanding, and most importantly, how to put yourself back at the center of your own story. Because the truth is simple, you can't rewrite his yesterday, but you can choose your tomorrow. And your tomorrow deserves someone who shows up fully, with you, for you, in this moment. When you love someone who is still living in their past, it often feels like you're trying to hold on to someone who was never fully present. Maybe he still talks about his ex. Maybe he compares you, subtly or directly, to the person who came before you. Or maybe he avoids emotional closeness altogether because he's terrified of repeating past pain. No matter how it looks on the outside, the result is the same for you. You end up carrying the weight of his unfinished story, and that weight is heavy. The silent competition you never agreed to. When a man still holds on to his past, he unintentionally puts you in silent competition with a ghost. You don't see her face, you don't hear her voice, but you feel her presence. Maybe it's in the way he reminisces. Maybe it's in the way he shuts down whenever the topic of love, trust, or the future comes up. And so, without realizing it, you start measuring yourself against someone you cannot compete with. Someone who exists only in his memory, a polished version of the past that he clings to, ignoring the flaws, the mistakes, the reasons it ended. The truth? Competing with the past is a battle you will always lose, because no matter what you do, you can't rewrite history, and you shouldn't have to. His healing is not your assignment. One of the most dangerous traps we fall into as women is believing that if we love deeply enough, patiently enough, unselfishly enough, we can heal someone else. That our loyalty will be the medicine that makes him whole. But love doesn't work like that. Healing is not a gift you can hand to another person. Healing is a decision he has to make, a process he has to step into. If he refuses, then no amount of your care will change that. And here's the hard truth you may not want to hear. His refusal to heal is not a reflection of your value. It is only a reflection of his readiness. Why you feel so drained. When you love someone stuck in their past, you will always feel like you are giving more than you're receiving. That's because your energy is constantly being poured into filling the gaps his past leaves open. You're trying to reassure him, trying to prove you're different, trying to stand steady while he leans on you, but never truly lean with you. This is why you feel tired even when nothing big has happened. Emotional unavailability is invisible, but it is exhausting. It eats away at your spirit little by little. And the longer you stay in that space, the more you risk losing yourself. You stop recognizing your own needs. You silence your own voice just to avoid triggering his defenses. You shrink, hoping he will expand. But let me tell you something with love. Shrinking yourself will never make another person grow. Loving without losing yourself. So how do you love someone without losing yourself to their past? It begins with boundaries. Not cold walls, but warm, firm truths about what you will and will not accept. Boundaries that sound like this. I will not be compared to someone who is no longer here. I cannot continue to be punished for pain I did not cause. I deserve to be loved in the present, not tolerated while you remain in the past. These boundaries are not ultimatums. They are acts of self-respect. They remind you, and him, that your role is not to fix what's broken, but to honor what's alive in you. The fear that keeps you stuck. Maybe you're thinking, but what if I leave and he finally heals after me? What if the next woman gets the version of him I always hoped for? This fear is real, and it keeps many women trapped in relationships that drain them. You imagine the what-if version of him, the healed, loving, present man who could exist if only he tried harder. And so you hold on, not to the man in front of you, but to the possibility of who he might become. But here's the truth. Staying in pain just because you fear someone else might get his better version is not love. It's self-abandonment. And even if he does eventually grow, you deserve peace today. You deserve joy now. Reclaiming your place in your own story. When you shift the focus back to yourself, something powerful happens. You stop asking, why can't he love me the way I love him? And you start asking, why am I willing to accept less than what I deserve? This is not about blame. It's about awakening. Because the moment you realize that you have always been enough, that his inability to show up is not your failure, you reclaim your freedom. Your worth is not tied to whether he chooses you fully. Your worth is in the fact that you are here, breathing, loving, and capable of building a life filled with joy, with or without him. What healthy love feels like. Let me remind you of something. Real love does not make you feel like a visitor in someone's life. Real love does not keep you waiting at the doorway while they decide whether they're ready to let go of yesterday. Healthy love feels safe. It feels present. It doesn't make you guess where you stand. It doesn't make you fight invisible battles. If you've never felt that kind of love, it may sound like a fairy tale, but it exists. And you will never find it if you keep settling for the kind of love that leaves you half empty. Choosing you. At the end of the day, it all comes down to this. You cannot rewrite his story, but you can choose how your story continues. Choosing yourself does not mean you didn't love him enough. It doesn't mean you failed. It means you recognized that love without presence is not love. It's longing, and longing cannot nourish your soul. So if you are in love with someone who is still stuck in their past, I want you to pause and ask yourself, am I honoring myself in this relationship, or am I just hoping he will eventually honor me? And if the answer leaves you in tears, remember, tears are not weakness. Tears are truth trying to wash you clean. Let them fall. Let them remind you that your heart deserves to be full, not waiting for someone else to finally arrive. Because at the end of the day, love is not about saving someone from their yesterday. Love is about building a today and a tomorrow together. And you deserve someone who is ready to stand beside you, here, now, fully present. Take a deep breath with me for a moment. Imagine yourself sitting in a quiet room, just you and your thoughts. The noise of his past, the comparisons, the uncertainty, they all fade for a second. And in that silence, you ask yourself, where am I in this relationship? Do I feel seen? Do I feel chosen? Do I feel loved in the present? Or am I standing in the shadow of yesterday? These questions are not meant to create guilt. They are meant to create clarity. Because so often we confuse struggle with love. We believe that if it's hard, it must be meaningful. That if we endure long enough, the reward will be happiness. But real love does not demand that you constantly prove your worth against a ghost from the past. Think about the times you've silenced your own feelings just to avoid reminding him of his ex, or the way you've downplayed your needs because you didn't want to add pressure while he was already struggling. Each of those moments may feel small, but they add up. And before you know it, you've built a relationship where your voice is the quietest one in the room. Now ask yourself, if I were my own best friend, what advice would I give me? Would I tell myself to keep holding on, even though my heart is heavy? Or would I remind myself that love is not meant to feel like waiting in line for a seat at the table? Sometimes the reflection we need is not about him at all, it's about us. Why do we stay in places where we feel unseen? Why do we cling to men who cannot walk beside us in the present? The answer often lies in our own fear. Fear of being alone, fear of not finding better, fear that maybe we aren't as worthy as we thought. But here's the truth your heart already knows. Your worth is not decided by how someone else treats you. Your worth is constant, even when love fails, even when someone chooses their past over their present. I want you to picture your future self, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. Does she look back at this relationship with gratitude because it was the love she needed? Or does she look back with pain because she stayed longer than she should have? That image of your future self is powerful. It can guide you if you let it. Reflection is not about rushing to a decision. It's about being honest with yourself, about recognizing that the person you need to be most loyal to is not him, it's you. Because if you abandon yourself in the name of love, you will always walk away empty. So tonight, before you sleep, place your hand over your heart and ask it gently, what do you need right now? Not what he needs, not what the relationship needs, but what you need. Your heart will answer, softly at first, but clearly if you choose to listen. Because the real reflection here is simple. Love that costs you your peace is too expensive, and you are worth far more than a love that makes you question if you are enough. I want you to pause for a moment and really let these words sink into your heart. You are not second place. You are not a substitute. You are not a placeholder until someone decides they're ready. Your worth is not measured by how quickly a man forgets his past. Your worth is not defined by whether he can see the beauty of who you are in this very moment. Your worth is steady. It is unshakable. It is yours. Too often, we confuse someone else's inability to love us with a reflection of our own value. If he cannot let go of his past, if he cannot step fully into the present, we start to believe maybe we're not enough. Maybe if we were prettier, more patient, more forgiving, he would finally choose us. But let me tell you the truth with all the love in my voice. His wounds are not your proof. His hesitations are not evidence of your inadequacy. They are simply a mirror of his journey, his fear, his unwillingness to step forward. None of that takes away from the fact that you are whole, valuable, and deeply deserving of love right now. Self-worth means choosing yourself even when someone else cannot. It means saying, I deserve a love that shows up fully and actually believing it. It means knowing that you are not here to beg for crumbs of affection. You are here to sit at the table of love with dignity, to be cherished in the present, not chased in the past. If you're listening right now and part of you feels small, invisible, or replaceable, I want you to remember this. Your presence is a gift. Your kindness is a gift. Your ability to love, even after being hurt, is a gift. And anyone who cannot see that, anyone who cannot hold that, is not your measure. Self-worth is not about arrogance. It's not about saying, I'm better than him or I don't need anyone. It's about whispering to yourself, I matter. I am enough. I do not have to suffer to prove my love. I do not have to shrink to fit into someone else's brokenness. Repeat this with me, softly if you can. I am worthy of love that is whole, not half. I am worthy of love that is present, not distracted by the past. I am worthy of being chosen fully every single day. And even if no one else says it to you today, let me be the one who reminds you. You are not too much and you are not too little. You are exactly enough. Your self-worth is the anchor that will keep you safe when love feels uncertain. It is the gentle reminder that even if someone cannot walk this path with you, you are still standing, you are still shining, and you are loved by yourself, by life, and by those who can see you clearly. So never hand over your crown just because someone else is blind to its shine. Keep it on your head, straighten your shoulders, and remember, the love you deserve begins with the love you give yourself. So, my dear, here's where we close today's conversation. Loving someone who is still stuck in their past can feel like you are fighting a battle you never signed up for. You wait, you hope, you give, and yet it never feels enough. Because the truth is, no matter how much love you pour into him, you cannot erase what he refuses to release. But today, I want you to walk away with this truth. You are not responsible for carrying someone else's yesterday. You are responsible for honoring your own today. If his heart is still anchored in the past, you cannot drag it into the present, and you should not lose yourself trying. Instead, your energy belongs to building a life where your love is returned in full measure, where your voice is heard, and where your heart is safe. Remember, love is not meant to make you feel like a stranger in your own story. Love is meant to meet you here and now, to build with you, not to leave you waiting on the sidelines of memories that don't belong to you. So tonight, when you lay your head down, I hope you remind yourself you are worthy of a love that chooses you, fully and freely. You are worthy of peace. You are worthy of joy. And if he cannot step out of his past, then maybe the most powerful step you can take is the one that leads you back to yourself. Because your future, the one that is waiting for you, is too precious to waste on someone who keeps looking backward. So choose you beautifully, unapologetically, and completely. And as always, thank you for letting me share this space with you. You are not alone in this journey. Come back here whenever your heart needs a gentle reminder of its worth. Until next time, take care of your heart. It deserves nothing less.
Thank you for spending this time with me on Heaven of the Heart. Remember, you are worthy of care, love, and happiness every single day. If today's message touched your heart, please share it with another woman who needs this reminder too. Until next time, take care of your body, your mind, and your soul. And never forget, beauty has no age, and your heart is your true home.